1 second. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hello everyone.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. Hi everyone, and welcome back. This is week 2 of our New Year's resolution to do a YouTube video every week. So far, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We weren't really sure what to talk about, but we figured the best place to start was to sort of explain a bit more like what we do and how we do it. Yeah. I think we kind of started it kind of by accident, which...
Yeah, to be honest, basically, we met from a dating app. And yeah, this is how we met. And
yeah, I remember Chun sent me a message being like, oh, I really like your work, like, we should do... Yeah, he was like, we should work on something, whatever. Which, I don't know if that was just a line that you gave.
I don't know, like, I see as a mutual thing that I can start a conversation. I didn't mean to say like, oh, we should collaboration, but I think that was a pretty nice pickup line. And then...
But anyway, so that was like when we first met, and then we didn't really do anything together because like I was doing my own thing, Chun was doing his, and then I feel like I'm quite protective of my own work, and I didn't really like the idea of working with anyone else. Then finally, I remember I was going to Fashion Week in Paris to do some video, like content work for a magazine, and so I was gonna be going over there for a couple of days, and I wanted like a new bag, and we had a bunch of extra denim lying around because Chun's dad collects vintage denim, and we're sending us some stuff that he had left over, and it was just like literally sat on the floor there. Yeah,
just want to get rid of.
And I was so like, sick of it on the floor, so I was like, just make me something, make me a bag with it, like just get rid of it, I'm so sick of seeing it. So we like threw a few ideas around, and I was like, I just want something super silly, like a little flower or something really stupid. And this was when our studio was in our bedroom as well, it was also right there. And so I came back, and Chun had started it and had made the first sample of this giant flower shaped bag. The first sample of the flower bag,
the first one.
Yeah, and so from there I had a bunch of opinions and things that I thought we should change. This is the first sample, and then we like changed it a bit and made a new one. And then so the new one is what I took it to Fashion Week with me, and I was working backstage at one of the shows and like doing video content, and one of the like designers from the brand that I was at like came up and was like, oh, like, can I see your bag? And I was like, yeah, I made it, like me and my partner made it. And they're like, you made this? And they started asking me all these questions, and then a couple of the models backstage took a picture of the bag, and like when I went to the next show, people on the street were taking pictures of the bag, and I remember I was messaging you like while I was working, I was like, we need to get these online right now. I was like, before anyone copies it, before the idea is stolen, and so people know that it's ours. So it was like something that I just brought it not thinking anyone would care, and then all of a sudden I was like messaging you backstage at Fashion Week like, we need to make a website, we need to make an Instagram, we need to get pictures of this, we need to put it online.
Well, I have no idea like why we started a brand like this, but maybe start it first, maybe the first step always important.
And like, I know for me, like, obviously I was like, oh, I want a bag, like I want like a fun little flower shape or whatever, but I definitely wouldn't have made it on my own, because like I feel like especially at the time I was so overwhelmed with my own stuff, because I was coming off the back of my own like degree and my own master's program and finishing that up, and then I was just like, you know, you just chuck ideas out there like, oh, we should do that, or we should do that, but you never actually do it. And also I hate denim.
Yes, that's a good, nice confession.
Like it's never the material that I'm like drawn to when I'm making my own stuff, and so it was kind of almost like a fun challenge of like, how can we use this material that I don't like and make it into something that I like. And I guess the answer was like a ridiculous giant flower-shaped bag. But from there, it just kind of was like, yeah, it just kind of did its own thing from there. So now that it is a thing,
yeah,
and like the way that we've kind of worked out.
For me, I never expect like how far can we go or stuff. But since the first day we start working on it, I will, like what I say, like as a good motivation, maybe we take some time, just 1 or 2 days in a week, and then we don't care like what we're going to do at the very initial stage. Every time we got order, oh so happy, and then just go make it next day. Just make it first. Just every single handbag is handmade. So every time we make, we understand like what sort of things need to improve, what is the weakness.
I think like that was part of it as well, was like the first few bags, like it was definitely in like beta testing mode. Like we were still kind of,
I feel bad for first 2 customers.
Yeah, you know who you are. For me at least, it was like, we're only gonna do this if it's something that we're both really enjoying, and that doesn't cause us to not be able to do the other things that we do.
When you say that, I kind of understand like how to make it work. I think especially when you work in a team or work as a couple, kind of like one of them need to be a leader, one of them need to obey. So definitely I'm the one who obey everything. Every time she complain, no. I mean, every time you giving some nice fantastic idea, I will absolutely like follow every single thing that you want me to do.
I also think it's like 2 different perspectives on the same thing, because for me it's kind of like, I feel like what I was saying before, like I would never have done this without you. So like in the sense that like, you know, I was overwhelmed with my own projects, and obviously you have your own creative stuff as well, but for me, like I was very tunnel vision, like this is what I'm doing, like my own label. And so then this extra thing at the beginning, definitely for me, I was like, ugh, like this is like one more thing to do now. But also like, it's kind of in the same way, like I don't know if anyone else is like a fashion designer, and you know, you go to a store and you see stuff and you're like, oh my god, I could make this so easy, I'm not gonna buy this, I'll just make it. But then you never make it, because you never want to make things for yourself, because you know, you're always focusing on different projects and working on other things, so you never make stuff for you. And so this is kind of that, like even if we're making bags for other people, it's our like little side thing. And I feel like you kind of give the motivation to me to then actually be like, okay, like we're gonna do this then.
Okay, the reason I say that, because we got a very different sense of aesthetic. Before this brand, I never make something like cute, interesting. I like something like distorted, like 90s.
I like heavy
fashion.
metal.
Yeah, I love something aggressive. I love something like I don't know how to describe. And Emma, tell me more. What do you like?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same. Like both of us separately have very different aesthetics to the brand that we're working on. Because like my stuff, like what I've mentioned before, like very like reconstructed vintage and antique materials, very serious. So I feel like that's also part of why this works. Is like, because like, you know, as 2 separate creatives, like I have my thing and you have your thing, and separately those are like, you know, where all of our creative instincts go to first. And it's, whereas this is something that's like, it's cute and it's fun, and it's just like, we just make things because we're like, oh, like wouldn't it be really cute if we did like a little bag like this, or we could do something like that, or like the keychains, like all these things that we do with EBCYC are like just because we want to. I think now that we're doing it, in hindsight, it's actually really, really helpful. It's like a creative breath of fresh air. I feel like, you know, I feel like when we're designing something, if we come to a point where I'm like, I want it this way, and you're like, I want it this, like a different way, it almost is then like, you can just step back and be like, oh, like it's fine.
Understanding is the most important thing. Like every time I do things, every time if you're having a small argument, I would try to like understand what you're thinking, because we both of us have one goal, like finish it, solution. This is how I think. And then the more you understand each other, and the more like trying to accept different opinion, different people, like different feedbacks and different thoughts.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really any different, like, because I feel like people think like, oh, like you're working together and you're, you know, dating or whatever, but I don't think it's really that different from if you're working with someone that you're not dating, because you still need to be able to have, do you know what I mean, like no matter who you're working with, whether it's just a creative partner or a business partner, or you're dating them or you're not dating, like you still have to be able to, you just have to understand them. But I also think because within the brand, we have our own separate responsibilities, even within the brand, that we do together. And so I think that helps as well. Like, obviously both of us sew, both of us know how to sew and how to do, you know, pattern drafting and stuff. So there'll be days where we'll go into the studio and we will work together, where, you know, I'll pin and give it to you and you'll sew it, and then I'll take it, and then so we kind of have like a back and forth, like little mini work line. But then at the same time, like there will be days where, you know, we need, you know, especially when we were first like developing the website and doing the logos and all that kind of stuff, like I would go to the studio and sew, and you would stay and do all the web building and stuff, and then we would come back at night and we would, you know, chat about it and still be apart in everything, but we weren't side by side on top of each other 24/7, which I think is also probably good.
Move on.
Okay. Once we had already kind of established what we were doing, I think we were lucky in the sense that we started a brand when there was already interest in what we were doing. From like what we said before, like we made the bag without the intent of having a brand, and then there was interest in the bag. Because I feel like that's the hardest part, like when you're starting a brand, is you make all this stuff and then, or you have an idea of what you want to make, but then you have to convince people that they want it. But we were lucky in the sense that we didn't have to do that straight away, because we had right away like our friends and, you know, people at Fashion Week, model, like people online that were already kind of asking about the bag. And if anything, that was almost the challenge, was catching up. But that also is why it was really nice, because I think our first, it was like we first were selling to friends, and then friends of friends, and then, you know, someone brought a bag back to their friend in Korea, and then they ended up wanting 2 more bags, and so then it was like, that was when it was really fun, was when it was like bags that we were making for people that we didn't know. Because it was like, wow, like the energy at the beginning was really, really fun. And like we were just so confused that people were interested in it. I feel like I was like shocked that people actually wanted the bag.
It's not my left leg.
Take a break.
Okay, come back. On the other hand, I think another problem is the pricing that we're struggling a lot. Because we literally put quite a lot. We didn't expect we'll be spending a lot of time for making a bag, especially the big one. Especially like we need to make like all the details, how to like make it puffy, but not showing the wording inside.
Yeah, I think even like
and also inside we got pockets and stuff.
Like even in our heads when we first started, we were like, oh, so easy, like we'll just patchwork it, put it together, but then we started actually making them and being like, oh my god. I think it's the hardest part for any like creative who's selling their work, is like, how do you price it? Because there's so many things at play, where we were really lucky at the beginning being able to have so much interest in the bags, the resistance, I think, to building the brand is something that we're experiencing more now.
At the moment, like for in my side, at my side, what I can improve is like trying to like put some effort on branding, social media, because I think not only about the product but also about like how you're presenting, how you create a vibe for the brand. I don't know, like we still kind of like see how
yeah, we're still figuring it out. And I think that is, you know, the difference that we were saying with like how much it actually costs versus how much people are willing to pay for it. I feel like that difference or that discrepancy is fixed through what you were just talking about, like the branding, you know, convincing people, you know, showing people what it's actually worth. Like on social media, I know that we do a lot of like showing the process of making the bag, so people know that it's handmade, people know that we're, you know, it's us making it, it's not there's no one else, it's just us. And also like sort of showing that vision. And then I also think it's really helpful that you can do, you know, a lot of 3D design, like we've talked about, like the sort of like concept videos that we've done, either based on products that we already have or, you know, new ideas that, you know, we can't really make them right now, but we can make a 3D version of it to sort of show people like what our vision is and things that we want to do in the future, because we have so much that we want to do. You know, we want to get into other areas of like footwear and jewelry design, all these things, but we obviously just can't do it now, but we can fake doing them by like doing these 3D designs, which I think is really helpful. So I think it's finding ways to, even if you're not able to like keep producing, finding ways to keep the vision going, which is why you're super helpful. We don't.
we literally don't, honestly. Yeah, right now I don't know, I do different sort of things. What am I talking about?
How do we balance like working on creative projects with like actually working to make money?
Oh, okay.
Like that is our biggest struggle. Like genuinely, I don't have an answer. If anyone else has an answer, that would be really helpful. Your artistic vision at the end of the day will suffer if you aren't able to sustain it. And sustaining it means, you know, paying for, you know, having our studio. Like we were just talking about, if we can't afford to pay the rent in our studio space, our brand dies. So how do we pay for the studio space? We have to do some jobs that we don't love so much.
Especially when the most struggling part is you want to do something that you love, but the things that you want to make it working require certain money and time, and you need to like also get another job, sacrifice your time to do this, and then I would feel like every time I got paid from my job, and all of the money will go into the brand. Balancing your time, organization is very important. Like you need to understand like at least how tired you feel, what matter is you need to like take 1 or 2 days, work on it, and you need to understand like connection. Connection is very important.
And it sucks because like the answer is literally you have to do everything. And that's what's so hard, because it's like, you know, if we work 5 days a week at some, you know, stupid job that we don't really care about, you know, just to pay the bills or whatever, then okay, then we can make our stuff on the weekends. But then that means on the weekends, you know, it's like, well, then you can't go out, and then in your head, you know, when you're focused on your work, it's like, well, I don't care, I don't need to go out. But then if you're not going out and you're not networking and meeting new people, then no one knows about you, no one knows your work, nothing goes anywhere. So it really is like having to figure out, how do you work to pay the bills, how do you work creatively, and how do you then still find time. And I think that's what we keep telling ourselves now, is like doing it now when we're younger, when we have the energy, and just knowing like, you know, again, like it might not be so fun, we might be tired right now, but you know, seeing, you know, a future plan and trying to always make decisions with that in mind, because I think we have had to have discussions about, are we going to get rid of the studio, are we going to stop doing this for a while because we need to sort out other stuff. And so, you know, that is where we're at, like genuinely, is like, how do we keep going? And so I think that's partially why we started doing these videos as well, is to sort of keep us going in some way and sort of give us that like direction. And I don't know, again, like to see where other people are at, because it's hard.
What we always like worrying is about money, time, connection with the people, and also the housework, and also the job.
Yeah, I mean, we're still, like you said, we're still figuring it out, and I think that's kind of, again, what we're doing this video for. And it's really nice, like from just last week, like we already have some subscribers, which we were really excited about. Yay. So hi.
Imagine if we giving a speech in public somewhere, at least 21 guys standing in front of us listening. We need to charge them. Oh no, I'm joking. Imagine 21 £1 entry, 21 pounds.
Okay, but we're not charging anyone anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm joking.
It's really nice to hear from other people who are in the same spot. Like genuinely, it was so nice to hear. And it's quite exciting to be able to connect to other people. And so yeah, and so for anyone that's new, we try to put out videos every week going forward. And you know, we'll talk more about, you know, give updates on what we're doing. And yeah, so anyone else like in the same position, like we really would love to hear from people, and you know, get other people's insights and whatever. If you're just interested in what we do, then that's fine as well. But so definitely subscribe so you can, no, I don't want to say that, let me try something else. But yeah, definitely subscribe so we can, like, you know, stay connected and hear from other people and keep you guys updated with what we're doing. And yeah, just thanks everyone. I'm hungry.
I'm okay.